Definitely got some boneyard markings on it here. Pretty rusty, probably from up north. LSD is good. It's fairly loose though. I've not seen one like that in a long time. But we will make it much better, stronger, definitely a lot cleaner looking. All right, we'll stand by for some results here as we get this thing apart and start our next adventure. And on the bench today, we have a S2000 differential. This was a salvage yard differential. The client did not realize that this differential had been switched in his car, but it was. And you'll see that in some of the picture segments of this video of what this looked like before and after. And we have a little bit of the before and after on the bench here at the same time. The aluminum cover that yet to be restored, so you can kind of get an idea how crusty this thing is. It's been pretty rough looking. And here's our stub axles, and you can see that these look pretty bad, and again they will get a transformation and look really good when we're finished. I've already done the input flange, and this looks fantastic now, and you'll see pictures of that again before and after, so to speak. Also getting a set of PuddyMod performance axles, and this is the outbound hub side. This I have already finished, and I'm getting ready to do the inbound here. This is the restored inbound cup, and we'll go ahead and put the tripod in and the new boot kit and all that good stuff. This is the differential case, the third member, and it came out really good compared to what it looked like before. It's really nice. So I'm sure he's going to be quite excited to see this when he gets it back. And the surprise, of course, that it is actually an AP2 rear end, not an AP1 rear end. So surprise, surprise. But anyway, little note here too, guys. If you're ever doing this as a DIY, switching out these, grease, and you buy the kit from Honda, these are your factory bands. These are reusable bands. These can be, taken apart and put back together easily with the proper tool. They're made to do that actually, so which is really nice. And trying to do this one-handed here. There you go. I just released it. You just grab the end of that. Let's see if we can get some focus going on here. And you'll see there's little nubs on here that you use a special pair of pliers with, and you can reclamp that back onto this, and it's good for more service. On this end here now, that's a different story. These bands are not reusable. Once they're released, they're trash and you have to replace them. Luckily, Honda does give you the proper bands for the outbound, another set of factory bands. Unfortunately, they do not in their factory inbound kits. They give you these things, which is just a generic stainless steel kit for banding these boots, and you really don't want to use them. They're not that good. This is what you want to hold on to. Do not throw these away. Clean them up just as I did here and reuse them. The grease is actually really good. There's nothing wrong with that. So you don't have to go out and buy anything special. And these are designated inbound and outbound, so you can't mess it up. And they are portion controlled, so you use the portion that's in the bottle to fill that boot with. And also a lucky factor is that the boot is an original assembly line Honda rubber boot. These things really, they last forever. You don't even have to replace them half the time, but you got one in the kit, you go ahead and replace it. But these things are just unbelievably good. They last forever. So there you have it. Comes with a new clip as well, and then the 2 bands. Again, I would discard the 2 bands that come with the kit. Use the grease, use the boot, but retain your original bands. All right, well there you have it. We're going to go ahead and get on with this job. All our factory install parts are here on the bench. I just don't have the gear set here on here yet. The PuddyMod solid steel sleeve, the 1020 drawn over mandrel sleeve, that is an exclusive to our shop here. And this is a custom fitted sleeve to the rear end. There is no shimming involved, and it's the other ones that I've seen out here on the market, not so much. They have very thin shims that will, distort under load and pressure, and they'll live, you'll lose that preload, and you won't be a happy boy or girl because now you got a broken differential. Well, there you have it. We're going to go ahead and get on with this job and get it built and assembled. This is your outbound. See, it does come with the factory band, just like that, right there. This one still has to be done, so you can kind of get a comparison to what these things start out like and what they finish like in earlier parts of this video, and probably at the last part of this video where you'll see everything finished. This is your nut. You definitely want to replace that nut with this new nut that kind of provides you. Your outbound grease, if you're doing a DIY, this is perfectly good grease to use. This is portion controlled again. You use this entire tube to fill up your new boot. We don't use the Honda grease here. I do use our own in-house synthetic, specially formulated PuddyMod super duper high performance, yeah, all that good stuff, grease. Oh, here comes Shop Kitty. Hey, Shop Kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Stealing the show again. Well, anyway, what you doing, Kitty? Oh, as soon as I put the camera on, you turn away. Funny. Anyway, well, we're going to get this one done. You see how kind of crusty everything is here. And then it gets the before and after treatment. All right, we'll get on with this rest of this build. Stand by. These bearings are proprietary, so if you try to buy an aftermarket bearing, it may work, but it's not exactly the same. There are differences, and I do not recommend aftermarket bearings. Okay, we're back with our setup. PuddyMod solid steel sleeve is in place. Restored input flange, the new Honda nut, washer, restored case, LSD. Here we go. And we are back with that salvage yard differential, getting ready to tie things up here now. This differential job is also going to get a set of PuddyMod high performance axles. And I have two samples of axles on the bench here today. The one on the right side is the performance axle. The one on the left is the standard stock axle that I build. Both of these axles are excellent. This axle here, the stock axle, is built with all Honda grease, and this axle here, the performance axle, gets a synthetic special formula and a few other proprietary things that we do here to make these axles last and hold up to stress. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clear this axle out since it's not going to be part of this job or anything, also that boot kit. I wanted to go over these other parts here that you've seen earlier in this video. It's now restored. Here are your stub axles. Pretty amazing, right? They were pretty bad, and they came out really good considering how bad they were. These are really respectable looking now, and definitely better than that salvage look. Here's your hardware. Again, this stuff was in pretty rough condition. Your vent looks amazing, like it's new again. Some of the other screws here in the yard completely exposed to the elements for who knows how long, so it was pretty rusty and kind of messed up. If you remember the cover, it was really bad. This thing came out super good. It looks perfect. All the damage repaired. Drain and fill restored. This was completely covered in rust. Looks much, much nicer now. It's got a nice shine to it again. Of course, new Honda crush washers are in place. Here are our inside CV cups. They look great. Ready for assembly now. The other axle I'm almost finished with, so that'll be on the bench here shortly. Of course, the differential, got a perfect gear-to-gear contact pattern. 2.9 to 3 thousandths backlash, consistent, balances in with a 1/2 thousandths, so it really balanced out super nice. AP2 differential when they thought it was an AP1, surprise, surprise. Input flange looks amazing, especially compared to what it did look like. I appreciate you guys tuning into this stuff and seeing how things are fixed, and I try to explain some of the stuff that I do, and I've been doing it a long time, and I'm really grateful that you guys have stayed with me as long as you have. And please, click and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if you like what you're seeing, and I'll keep doing these things, this and the Camaro, of course, and maybe even some stuff on a pickup truck. All right, here we go. Okay, we're back to the last segment of the video, and these are the performance axles that are finished now. And the way you can tell the difference between my performance line and my stock line, like I was saying earlier in the video, is black end, silver end is non-high performance. This is a stock OEM rebuild, and this is a high performance PuddyMod rebuild. That's the difference. But anyway, we're going to get on with this final axle install here, stub axle that is, for the differential. And I wanted to show something that's kind of neat. I haven't seen it in a while, but that rear, I'm going to be showing you guys a rear that was really badly damaged. Well, it was an older rear end, early AP1, and look at this axle seal. This is a factory original Honda axle seal, as well as this one here. This package is for the one that's already been installed. But anyway, they did a revision on that seal. It looks perfectly the same, but they tightened up the tolerances some. Back in the day when I was first, starting doing this, these seals, when you put them in, you could just push them in by hand, see? Look at that. Ta-da, in by hand. That's not the fact anymore with the new seal, and I'm going to show that here in a second once I go ahead and pull this back out. I'm going to go ahead and put the new revised seal in, which, like I said, looks identical, but of course they changed it a little bit by changing the outside measurement here and increased this measurement by probably. I have the old original seal out. I'm going to go ahead and install the new seal, and we'll just go ahead and put it up against here. Now, you've seen how simple it was for me to install that by hand. This one, not so much. You can get it started, but that's about as far as it's going to go. It's going to have to use the insertion tool that we've made to go ahead and drive this seal in properly. I'm going to go ahead and do that and be right back. Okay, we're back, and the seal is in place, nice and tight. And like I said, it has to be driven in. It's a tight fit. Back in the early days when I was using these seals, I used to put a skim coat of Honda Bond around this, and then I would put the seal in place just to make sure that I wasn't going to have either a leak or a seal that would want to walk itself out. Because like I said, it was a simple hand push fit. It just went right in. But Honda, obviously they did some changes. They did a revision, and they changed that size of the outside diameter to give a tighter fit to these things. And so just thought I would share that with you guys. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this. There you have it. This is the finished build of the scrapyard differential. So when you get one of these things out of a salvage yard, you never know what you're going to get. And this one was in pretty rough shape, but it is restored now with a really nice set of performance PuddyMod axles. Replicated a lot of the factory marks on it, just to give it that factory finish, that factory look. Super clean and ready for many years of dependable service. Thanks for watching. That's pretty yucky in there. Not good, but really, I mean, I've seen bad, and this is this is topping the bad. This few days, week or so, I'm going to take this rear end from what you see here now into a whole new place.